I live in South Florida, and today we're going paddleboarding in the Keys. We started our day off at Blue Turtle Villa, sipping coffee on the balcony when all of a sudden we spotted manatees. There were 2 of them just slowly cruising by. We decided to head down to the dock to see if we could find any more wildlife and saw lots of rainbow parrotfish and pelicans in the mangrove trees. Then we packed up our gear and headed over to the beach where the water was absolutely stunning. On the way out to the sandbar, we saw a pelican splash into the water and noticed there was a dark shape in front of it with a fin sticking up. As we got a little closer, we realized it was actually a spotted eagle ray. At the sandbar, we anchored the board, took a quick dunk, and then threw on our snorkels to see what we could find underwater. There were lots of shells today, and there were also all of these bait fish swirling around us. It was so pretty. The shells will typically collect around the edges of the seagrass area, so we were looking down a lot, but then we suddenly looked up and realized that another spotted eagle ray had been circling us. This eagle ray was gorgeous. Normally, spotted eagle rays are covered in white spots or circles, but this one honestly looked like it was either all black or had very faint spots that I just couldn't see. This was such a magical moment in the ocean. She hung out for a little while and eventually led us over to this grassy area where there were a ton of fish. I noticed something sticking out under the grass, so I peeked underneath and found these lobsters. They gave me a little wave. I also found a queen conch, which was beautiful and luckily still alive, so I admired it for a moment before putting it back down, but when I did, I noticed this deep hole surrounded by shells. I wonder what could be living down there. Then Joey swam over and handed me this. What a big sand dollar. Such a lucky find here. I always love all the different shells and things you can find in the Keys. The tide was going out, so we went over to the shallow area of the sandbar to walk around before it was time to head out. Just look at that water. It doesn't get much better than this. Once we were back on the board, we saw all these pelicans diving like torpedoes out of the sky to get some fish. There were dozens of them, and it was so entertaining. When we got back to Blue Turtle Villa, we watched the sun go down from the balcony and did a little grilling for dinner. What a great day. I can't wait to keep exploring this area, but until then, thanks for joining me on my paddle. I'll see you next time I'm by the water.